Hi, welcome to the session on sequence in Oracle database. In this session, let's look at sequence and its use case. A sequence is a set of integers, let's say an example, numbers starting from 1, and these are generated in order on demand. The sequence are frequently used in database because many applications require each row in a table to contain a unique value, and sequence provide an easy way to generate them. So for example, primary key, when we have a primary key on a table, the each value for each record will have a unique value. So sequences are useful in such cases. When a sequence number is generated, the sequence is incremented independent of the transaction committed or rollback. If two users, for example, let's say you have a user 1 and there's a sequence 1, there's a user 2 using, both are using the same sequence, and user 1 is updating table 1 and user 2 is updating table 2. Let's say user 1 has done some transaction, 3 transactions, and 3 numbers are generated, and then user 2 have done a transaction and 2 numbers 4 and 5 are generated. Now user 1 is again doing his transaction. The numbers that are generated will be the number will be next number, and that is 6. So we can see some numbers dropped when the same sequence is being used by multiple users on multiple tables. So we should be careful while using this sequence in database. It's basically there will be some gaps whenever same sequence numbers are utilized. Same sequence is utilized by multiple users, and these sequences are generated independent of tables. How to use the sequence? Once the sequence is created, the sequence are used by pseudo columns called as NEXTVAL and CURRVAL. So these pseudo columns are used, to access the sequence and use them. So these are the sequence. For a sequence to be to start, we have to use NEXTVAL in the query, and then the sequence gets started, and CURRVAL will give the current value that is available in the sequence at a given point of time. Now let's see the sequence creation syntax and also use case. So create sequence can be created using the create syntax. So create sequence, sequence name, then start with 1, let's say 1, and increment by. So we have to start with some number and then increment by. We have to. This is the interval between uh, the sequence numbers. So this can be positive, negative, but the positive or negative, but this cannot be 0. And if we do not specify this particular parameter, then the default value is 1. So let's say increment by 1, and next is the max value. Max value is the highest value that is assigned to this sequence, and we can also specify no max value where we need not specify the maximum value. So for now, let me provide max value as 10, and there is min value. So min value is the minimum value which in the sequence that will start with. So once the sequence is completed, again to start the sequence, we have this parameter, and this parameter it should be less than or equal to start with. So I'm providing the same value that is available in the start with. So we can also specify no min value. So using no min value, there will be no minimum value that will be available. So I'm giving it as 1 for now. Then the next option is cycle, which once the maximum value is reached, the sequence uh, will be starting with the min value in cycle. And next is cache, which is specify how many values in the sequence the database deallocates and keeps in memory. So this is to make the sequence faster. So let me give it as 2. Now the sequence is created. Look at the structure of the sequence. We have the table select star from user underscore sequences, where sequence sequence name is equal to whatever sequence that we have created. So here we can see the details about this sequence, the name of the sequence, and then the minimum value and maximum value, increment by. Then we have cycle, no cycle, and the we have one more parameter here, and then cache size and last number, whatever it is. So these are the values that we have. Now, how to use this sequence? So we have to start the sequence to make use of it. We have the pseudo column NEXTVAL, which is used to start the sequence. So it is NEXTVAL. You can see the value has the sequence has started now. So we have given start with 1, and then the sequence has started. So we can use CURRVAL to see the sequence value at any point of time. So this is to give the current value of the sequence at any point of time, and we it keeps getting incremented. So here the value max value has reached. So I'm executing the same statement now. Now you can see again one has the cycle has started, and this goes on. So this is the way we can make use of the sequence. Now let's see how can we use the sequence and insert data into any of the table. So there's a table to sequence, and let's see the data in this table. So there are no records in this table. So let's see the current value of the sequence. And now I would like to insert data into the table to sequence using the sequence SEQ. So here I'm inserting employee. It has 2 columns: employee number, which is of number data type, and then employee name. So I'm inserting for employee number. I'm using sequence and trying to insert data. And current value of the sequence is 3. So I'm giving the NEXTVAL and then some name. So one row created. Let's look at the data in the table. So here we can see there is employee number is 4, which is the current value of sequence is 3, and we have provided sequence dot NEXTVAL. So NEXTVAL that is created is 4, and we get the value as 4. So we can similarly we can execute the same statement and see the next value. So here I would like to give it as Smith, and once again so employee name I'm providing it as King. And now let's look at the data. So here we can see the employee numbers are auto generated 5 and 6, and the employee name or whatever we have provided. So this way we can make use of sequence and insert data into tables. So to modify the sequence, we can make use of alter sequence statement. So now we have the sequence details here, and if we want to modify the sequence, we can make use of alter statement, alter sequence SEQ, and want to increase the max value. max value as 20. Now the sequence is altered, modified. Now we can look at the details of the sequence, and here we can see the max value has been changed to 20. So to remove sequence from database, we have the statement drop sequence name. So now the sequence is dropped, the sequence is not available. So here we can see from the table user underscore sequences, whenever we give seq, no, it says no row selected. So this way we can drop the sequence as well. We can also create sequence in the descending order as well. So let's see one example. Create sequence number, start with -10, increment by 1, max value 0, in value -10, cycle and cache. Now the sequence is created. Let's look at the let's start the sequence. To start the sequence, we have the pseudo column NEXTVAL. So here it is -10, so it is -9, -8, and so on and so forth. And once we have reached 0, now again you can see it's starting with -10. So the cycle is getting repeated. So it keeps on getting repeated. Once we reach the maximum value, it starts again with the first value that we have, the minimum value that we have specified. So that's all about sequence. Thank you.